The whole idea is to think, what must water in Jannah taste like? What must food in Jannah taste like? What must a flower in Jannah be like? What must the experience be that reminds us of where we came? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, addressing people of Iman. Categorically, that's you and I. May Allah make us from the strongest of believers. Our hadith teaches us that a person does not have complete iman if their stomach is full while their neighbor's is empty. Who's gonna build the shelters and the clinics and the food pantries other than the people in this room? Who's going to do it simply because it's the right thing to do, with an understanding that we don't live simply for the sake of this world, but we understand it in relation to the world that comes after this? Allah Azza wa Jal, He addresses the believers in the Quran. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ma lakum. That, O people of Iman, what is wrong with you? إِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمْ أُنْفِرُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَثَقَلْتُمْ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. That when you are told to go forth in the path of Allah, you are stuck in the dunya. أَرَدِيتُمْ بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا مِنَ الْآخِرَةِ. That do you have a preference for the life of this world over the next? Indeed, the life of this world, it pales in comparison to the next. So if you taste something that is sweet and refreshing, water at the end of a day's fast that is so replenishing, the whole idea is to think, what must water in Jannah taste like? What must food in Jannah taste like? What must a flower in Jannah be like? What must the experience be that reminds us of where we came? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, addressing people of Iman. Categorically, that's you and I. May Allah make us from the strongest of believers. And what it's telling us is that those who don't claim Iman, they might have an excuse. They didn't claim to believe in Allah in the last day. They didn't claim that they believe in an akhirah. But we make that claim, and our decisions and choices have to be rooted in that understanding. In a lot of fundraising dinners, people quote the hadith that whosoever builds a masjid for Allah, Allah will build for him something like it in Jannah. And when you think about this, the prophetic example is not giving us a transactional relationship with Allah. The first part of it is important to understand. Whoever builds a house for Allah in this world doesn't mean that Allah needs the house. We're not building a masjid because Allah benefits from it. The building of a masjid is because we need it. You and I live right now in a world that even you in Canada is not as bad as it is for me in the United States, potentially. But you all feel the consequences of Donald Trump, do you not? Do you not see the realities of what it is that takes place in the world today? That even in Canada, when you have a surge in Islamophobia, because Canada responds to Palestinian refugees coming in with anti-Palestinian racism, they still engage you in such a way where they tell you that your belonging is only acceptable when you let go of parts of your identity. I went to Rafah in December of 2023. I sat with children who were missing limbs and body parts. I held babies in my arms who were 3 weeks of age, born in the dirt of Rafah, as their mothers told me that women delivered babies near them, some C-sections with no anesthesia. I sat with children who had shrapnel riddled in their bodies. What did they do to deserve this? And you know as a reality that when you are in this world, it tells you in your place of work, you cannot speak about Palestine because you might lose your job. You can't share what you really think about certain things because a good Muslim in systems like this is the one that has to be quiet. When you build a house for Allah in this world, it is not for Allah's benefit, it's for yours. So you create a space where people can separate from what the world seeks to confine you by, telling you that a good Muslim is a Muslim who is quiet and silent in the face of injustice. Our brother Salman, when we had breakfast this morning and we were leaving, he was quoting Iqbal to me. Does anybody here know Allama Iqbal? You know Allama Iqbal, a well-known poet from the Indian subcontinent, a philosopher, authored many texts, had a lot of credentials, a lot of degrees. And whether you agree with Iqbal's philosophies or not, you cannot discount the reality that he produced a lot in terms of his scholarship. And Iqbal gets to a place where they actually want to give him knighthood, the British. And he says, if you were to give me this honor, I need you to give it to my Quran teacher from when I was a child. And the British say to him, we don't know your teacher. Can you tell us what he has done? Tell us about him. Has he written anything? What are his books? And Iqbal says that I am his book. That he is a product of individuals that socialized him to rear him to be in such a place where the governmental apparatus that is colonizing his people is now saying to him, we want to give you an honor. And his success is not that that system honored him, but he had the strength to say in their face, what gives me dignity is the one who taught me Islam. And I want you to think about right now, in many of the companies that you work in, did they issue anything positive about Palestine in the last 2 years? Did they say a word about genocidal violence taking place against our sisters and brothers in Gaza? May Allah make us a generation that witnesses a free Palestine in our lifetime. Did you get frustrated at the reality that people that you thought were your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, your staff, they were saying nothing? You have students who are children in your families that go to colleges and universities that would tell them they would be penalized if they just stood up for people who were oppressed. This is why you need to build masjids for yourself. So you have spaces that you go to that give you rest in the world, and you understand that there are other people also who need these places. And I was sitting with these brothers. They said to me that in our Jama'ah, we have Muslims from everywhere. We have Muslims from Malaysia and Indonesia. We have Muslims who are Pakistani and Bengali and Indian. We have Muslims who are Jordanian and Syrian. We have Muslims who are from Sudan and Ghana. I just went to Sudan. 2 weeks ago, I was walking through the streets of Khartoum. You could see buildings like this that were riddled with bullets, millions and millions of them. The recognition of how it is that humans could do this to other humans. People are in a place where, may Allah make us those who stand with our sisters and brothers in Sudan. You cannot build a masjid that claims justice and then outside of it do things that don't make sense. If you have love for the Sudanese people and you're wearing gold that you bought in the Emirates that they stole from Sudan, it doesn't make any sense. You have to be in a place where you start to think about the realities of what people are going through around the world and why you have to build a masjid that is truly for the sake of Allah. And if it's as diverse as you claim, that's what gatherings of the divine are supposed to be. Gatherings that are human, they are based off of principles of inclusivity, of exclusivity, whereas Allah's gatherings are based off of principles of inclusivity.